Welcome to Forensic Anthropology class. Today, we'll be learning about osteology, or the study of the human skeletal system. An analysis is made by subjective visual assessment, creating a biological profile to establish a person's true identity. The sex or gender is the first characteristic determined, and this is done through an examination of sexually dimorphic features of skeletal size and shape. Men are generally taller than women, and their bones are larger. Their heads are also bigger, with longer arms and legs, in relation to body size. The starting point and most useful skeletal component for gender analysis is the pelvis, or hip bone. The biological sex of an adult skeleton can be determined with 95% accuracy just by measuring the hip bones alone. Females' hips are normally broader and longer to facilitate childbirth. A woman's hips will be wider than, or at least the same width as her shoulders. The opposite is true for males, whose hips are much narrower than their shoulders. The skull can also be used to accurately estimate sex up to an 83% accuracy. Skull features are characterized as masculine or feminine. The male skull is larger to accommodate a bigger brain, and also has a bony ridge across the brow, just above the eyes, whereas a female's brow is much smoother. The male jaw is larger, heavier, and sharply angled with a square chin. The female jaw is smaller, and more rounded with a pointy chin. A man's skull should be able to fit 3 times across the width of his shoulders. A woman's skull measures only 2 to 2.5 times across. Feminine shoulders slope down, like a letter A, but masculine shoulders run straight across, like a letter T. Due to shorter arms, female wrists only reach the level of their hips, while the longer arms of males allow their wrists reach past their hips, and down onto the thigh bones. Did you know the testosterone you are exposed to in the womb has an effect on how your fingers form? The more testosterone, the longer the ring finger grows. This characteristic is considered a reliable biomarker of prenatal sex hormone levels. Now let's investigate and try to identify our first individual. You are probably thinking, hold on a second. This is the famous actress Jennifer Aniston. I'm sure she said she was pregnant. But maybe she is not being truthful with her fans. Looking at the basic structure of Jennifer's skeleton, we can see that the hips are not as wide as the shoulders. In fact, they are quite a bit narrower. If we look at the skull, then we can see a ridge over the brow, a large, sharply angled jaw, and a square chin. These broad, straight across shoulders can fit 3 widths of Jennifer's skull. The arms are long, and the wrists reach past the level of the hips. And the long ring finger on Jennifer's proportionally large hand indicates a significant level of testosterone exposure before birth. This forensic investigation of sexually dimorphic masculine features concludes that there is over 95% chance that Jennifer Aniston is a biological male. Our next individual under skeletal analysis is the singer known as Madonna. Madonna is reported to have given birth to 2 children, but notice the hips are much narrower than the shoulders. Madonna's skull is big with a ridge over the brow. The jaw is large and sharply angled. The chin is square. Madonna's shoulders are broad and can fit 3 head widths across them. Madonna's arms are long. The wrists end up past the hips. Notice the large hands and long ring finger. There is more than a 95% chance that Madonna is also a biological male. Something strange is going on. Investigation 3, Meghan Markle. Wife of Prince Harry. Did Meghan just give birth to Archie Windsor? Let's take a look. Hips narrower than shoulders. Check. Large skull. Check. Brow ridge. Check. Large sharply angled jaw with a square chin. Check. Broad shoulders. 3 heads width. Check. Long arms with wrists finishing past the hips. Check. Long ring finger. Check. Over 95% chance of being a biological male. Check. 4. Kim Kardashian. Hips much narrower than shoulders. Large skull with a brow ridge. Large sharply angled jaw and a square chin. Wide shoulders that fit 3 heads width. Long arms with wrists ending past the hips and a long ring finger. Over 95% chance of you already know what I'm going to say. That's right. That also means there is less than 5% chance that Kim Kardashian is a biological female. 5. Melania Trump. Wife of President Donald Trump, and first quote-unquote Lady of the United States of America. Now it is your turn to analyze. Are the hips narrower than the shoulders? Is the skull large? Can you see a brow ridge? Small or large jaw? Sharp or rounded jaw? Is the chin square? How many head widths fit across the shoulders? Are the arms long or short? Where do the wrists finish? Is the ring finger long? What's the chance that Melania is actually a biological male? Well done. That's enough for today. Class dismissed.